Welcome back to the Void Compass. I've been taking some well-needed time off for my own energetic process, one that I'm very grateful for. I wanted to jump on and create a short video, a reminder for those who are still suffering on a daily basis. Whatever your suffering may be, I want to give you an alternate portal, a way of looking at it, a different perspective that, if it doesn't hit home today, it may land for you at a later date and be just as impactful and helpful. The majority of suffering I see is centered around one simple concept: preference. At any given moment in time, you are saturated with your mind's preferences. Your mind naturally arranges and organizes elements within its reality into a column of preferred outcomes and not preferred outcomes. These are based and organized by very simple metrics that do not extend past the purview of the mind-ego's consciousness. In other words, you will prefer an outcome because it might feel good in the moment, because it offers relief to a particularly chronically painful situation within you that is unaddressed. And you will develop a preference. And in the mind's innocence, it attempts to steer you towards the full manifestation and realization of that preference. It does so innocently because that is as much as it knows how to do. And naturally, because your life experience does not truly belong to you at the mind-ego level, but to the soul and to the divine, having an experience through you. More often than not, your preferences do not come to pass. And this leads the mind to become resentful, to doubt its worth, to believe that it is failing and not managing to bring about the results that it believes would be the most advantageous and the most pleasurable outcome. This leads to a lot of suffering, self-judgment, fear, and feelings of not getting this entire life experience right. And I'm saying, you should only be so lucky that your preferences do not come to pass. You should only be so lucky that soul's desires take precedence over your own. Because soul's way and the divine way is the highest way, is the highest way possible for you. The way that leads to the most consciousness, the way that leads back to full recognition that you are soul, that you are the divine. It is the way that leads to the most amount of healing and soul alignment that you could ever wish for, which is the entire point of the ascension journey. That leads us to surrender at a deeper and deeper and deeper level. The more you recognize that all you really need to be concerned with and involved with is what is unfolding in your present moment, the less your preferences begin to matter. You begin to realize that life is an inherently intelligent force unfolding in absolute perfection. Your individual experience is perfection. And whenever you stray from this present moment through thought, through fantasy, and through preferences for a different reality, you fall back into a space of dissatisfaction. And while the present moment is so very deep and rich and full of experience because it is actually genuinely real, you realize that the world of fantasy and illusion is wafer thin and never contains the feeling of fulfillment that it seemingly promises to lead you towards. This saying, "The price of wisdom is the shattering of illusion," stands true here. You cannot have that clarity, that freedom, that soul alignment, that liberation, that feeling of connectedness to the divine, which is what you truly desire. You cannot have that while still in an illusory bubble that promises to offer some form of comfort through a realized outcome that the mind believes will absolve it of its latent pain and trauma. I've spoken about this many times in recent videos. The reason why you have attachment and you have desire is the pain that is still latent and present within your field. It is what informs your next desires and your attachments. It says, I suffer this way, and this is what I need in external reality to absolve me of my pain. And this is how we can get it. And this is what we need to do. At no point does the mind ask the soul. It innocently drives towards that outcome, truly believing that that outcome, whatever that outcome may be, whatever you believe you wish to manifest, whether it is money, whether it is a career, whether it is a house, whether it is a relationship, and the deepest love that you believe you could ever experience, it is still an illusion. And I would rather shatter that illusion for you right now than let you go on another day, living in one more bubble that will placate you for another stretch of illusory time until it inevitably pops. Because that is how life is designed. It is a reflective experience. It won't let you remain in a bubble of illusion for far too long, because the soul does not like to waste time and will always course correct you back to itself. For what you are really seeking beyond the world of illusion is God, is the divine. You are seeking home. You are trying to go home while being here, and because you are fully identified with the mind's illusions, you are believing that that will be attained in something that is exterior to you. Let me absolve you of that right now. That is impossible and will never happen, no matter how long you seek it. And that is why I say, come back to the present moment and realize that everything that needs to unfold and everything you need to be concerned with is just here in this present moment. That is where fulfillment lies, and that is where a deepening to your experience lies. It does not lie in exterior fulfillment. For that simply doesn't exist. This experience is reflective. Everything around you is interchangeable. The people, the places, the situations are constantly shifting and changing based on your soul's blueprint. Everything that you are meant to experience based on the life themes you came in to resolve and work through. Those circumstances, people, places, and things are constantly shifting to cater to that blueprint. And the whole purpose of this ascension blueprint is to reconnect to the divine. Nothing more and nothing less. And that does not mean that you cannot have experiences. This is not exclusionary. It is inclusionary. It does involve you having experiences, things, and relationships, but you cannot be attached to that. You cannot be attached to anything outside of yourself, because to do that would be to buy into the world of yet one more illusion that you can remain wrapped up in. And the price of wisdom is the shattering of illusion. So I'm here to simply remind you that whatever your suffering is, it is tied to this. What is your illusion? What are you still attached to, and what are you unwilling to let go of? Why are you unwilling to let go of it? What do you believe will happen? What false beliefs are holding up the process of liberating yourself from illusion? And what pain and trauma is still stored within your field that you have yet to address, to transmute, and to unconditionally love? For when you do those things, and you collapse that pain and attachment continuum that I've so many times discussed on this channel, attachment and desire collapse. And the result is freedom and a lack of fear and a willingness to be receptive. And no longer are you grasping at life, but you are sat there with open palms, ready to receive, saying, "Soul, what will you have me experience next? And soul, what will you have me do?" That is the process, and that is where you are headed. And that is my door. No doubt with my whey protein that has just arrived. So I am going to leave it here. But I will say this. If you are struggling and you are stuck, this is what I do. I read into your energy. I sit with you on a one-to-one session, and we work through whatever is blocking you and stopping you from feeling more deeply fulfilled, more connected to life, and more connected to your soul. All the information is in the video description, as it always is, and I will see you next time on the Void Compass with more.